Senator Rand Paul is under fire after disclosing just yesterday that his wife bought stock in Gilead Sciences, the company that produces the drug remdesivir, which has been used to treat COVID patients, including former President Donald Trump. She bought the stock in February of 2020, good timing, but her husband is just now disclosing it. Senator Paul's office says the form disclosing this stock information was not transmitted properly, and he merely corrected the mistake yesterday. Their statement also notes that Paul's wife has, quote, lost money on the investment. Kim, more broadly, what I'm curious about is why on earth are we still allowing members of Congress to trade stocks?
That's my big question as well. They're getting a lot of this inside information, and then they go and they're able to buy stocks and invest based on this sort of I don't know how this isn't considered like insider trading, right? I mean, the information that they're given and what they're privy to. But, with this particular situation, this is raising a lot of questions for people because they view Rand Paul as being sort of anti-vax in a way, right? He says he already had COVID, he recovered, and so he doesn't need to get vaccinated. And so then people are saying about this in particular that this is a conflict of interest in that, if people don't get vaccinated and they end up in the hospital, then they end up needing to take remdesivir. And that potentially then benefits his family.
Yeah, it's an interesting claim that she's lost. Yeah, and I'm looking now. The stock was trading in February at a high of like around 80. So if she picked it up there, it's now trading at 70. So kind of hilarious if she managed to lose money on what should have been a good trade. If she'd have put it in an index fund at that point, she could have probably doubled her money by now. It is illegal, in fact, for members of Congress to trade on information that they obtained through their job, if they had no other way of getting that information. But it's incredibly hard to prove. Richard Burr is getting off despite it being pretty clear that's what happened. So it seems to me the only thing you can do, and Alyssa, I'm curious your take on this, the only thing you can do is just say, enough of this. You can't trade individual stocks. Put your money in a blind trust, put it in index funds, whatever. Just stop.
Yeah, and I was subject to this when I was in the federal government. We had certain restrictions on trading stocks because we did know market-sensitive, market-moving information. This one, I would have to give a little bit of credence to Kelly Paul. I'd have to know a little bit more about the timing. If this is early February, she would have had to have been far ahead of the curve of where even the federal government was in terms of COVID and the spread coming in the country. So that I don't think is quite not nearly as egregious as what we saw with Senator Burr and as well as Senator Feinstein and even Kelly Loeffler's at the time that they were indicated for trading during the pandemic. So I'd need a little more information, but worthy discussion to be had. Where are we going to have restrictions on elected officials or appointed officials on pursuing these sort of investments when they do have market-sensitive information?
And even just beyond the market-sensitive information, it just comes down to the platform that they have and their ability to then kind of guide the public in a certain direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I reported on David Perdue's trades, during the Georgia campaign, and he and other people, do have an ability not just to collect information, but statements that they make, can move the share price of individual stocks, and so. If it's legal, which is a completely different question than getting inside information, because that inside information is inside your head. So you buy a share or you short a stock, and then you go out and announce that maybe Congress ought to investigate this company. Boom, it goes down. You make money. That's not exactly having inside information. It's using your position of power to move the stock price and profiting from it. And you could argue that that's currently legal under the system as it is now, which is why I think that they just simply shouldn't be allowed to own anything.
The one quick thing I would mention is I don't think anyone was publicly talking about remdesivir as a therapeutic in February. I don't think it was until late April that was something that was actively being looked at widespread by both doctors as well as the federal government. So this was, very ahead of the curve. The wife of a medical doctor, perhaps, reading the tea leaves herself. So I want to give a little bit of pause there, but But Ryan, you do make a very interesting point. It's not just about the market-sensitive information you might have, but how you could influence the trading in your position of public influence.
And if you know you can do that, some people are going to do it.
That's very true. We've seen it time and time again, unfortunately, and it seems to be party agnostic.
Indeed. So tomorrow on Rising, David Sirota details reporting that reveals 7 Democratic lawmakers took big money from fossil fuel industry donors before casting a vote to ban the banning of fracking. And Kim Ives gives us an update on the investigation into the murder of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a video.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.